Yeah, I mean, going back to photography, it's incredibly important. I can't stress this
Right.
enough. But the listings with high quality photos just do better in every way. Research shows this again and again and again. So I know it costs a little bit of money, but it is so worth it. Please get professional photography. Listings that have brighter photos, for example, well lit photos, I should say, just do better. People aren't going to click on those dark cell phone photos. They're going to go right past that, even if you do have a beautiful listing in real life. It's all about what the guest is seeing on their screens. So really keep that in mind.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kessel. And today I'm joined by someone that I'm looking forward to chatting with, Katelyn Almeda, who has been making serious moves as an Airbnb ambassador and her own brand, Host with Kate, really helping design Airbnb spaces. So I'm excited to have you here on the show today.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, of course. I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you're approaching the Airbnb world and designing new creative spaces. So let's dive in. First off, for those not familiar with you and your world, can you give the short version of what your main focus is?
Yeah, so I help new hosts onboard their listings to Airbnb and just really help them create the best spaces that they can that will really appeal to the audience at large.
Awesome. How did you get into that?
Yeah, so I've been hosting for 10 years now. I started with just a private bedroom in my own house, and I really fell in love with hosting. I started my own co-hosting business in San Diego, where I managed 10 unique properties, including surf shacks and floating houses and yachts. And then I moved up to San Francisco, where I did actually work out of Airbnb's global headquarters as a host advisor. And then COVID happened. But they had their Airbnb Ambassador program and asked me to be a pilot in that. So I've been doing that for 5 years. And I was also asked to be a community leader about 3.5 years ago. So I'm the community leader for Central and Coastal Virginia. And I still, run my own Airbnbs as well.
Awesome. What does it mean to be a community leader? What does that role look like?
Yeah, so it's a volunteer position, but basically I get to bring local hosts together in person and also online for events, and I get to help educate them and, bring speakers and talk about all sorts of different topics. We have, for example, a Taco Tuesday once a month where we all get together and have a panel discussion on a different topic. So like last month's was midterm rentals, the month before was co-hosting. We're having one on service providers coming up, one on interior design. So just getting hosts together. It's always great to know other hosts, especially in your local area, and bounce ideas off of them, and just learn and network.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool. So, where are you doing Airbnbs? Are you doing them nationwide, or are you in like just the Virginia area that you just mentioned?
Yeah, so currently all of my spaces are in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia. And that's it. I used to have that co-hosting business in San Diego, but I sold it when I moved up to San Francisco, and then COVID brought me back home to Virginia.
Awesome. What have been like some of your keys to keeping this business running smoothly?
Yeah, I think, it's been really helpful collaborating directly with Airbnb. I do intro to hosting webinars with them twice a month. That's totally free for new hosts, and you can find it directly from Airbnb.com. So I get a lot of warm leads through that. And then, also just doing these events that I was just talking about as a community leader, it's just a wonderful way to meet other people in the space, and then they'll connect me with other people and whatnot. I have a lot of referrals through word of mouth.
That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like networking is a really important piece of
Mm,
this job for you.
very much so.
Awesome. So, what are some of the ways that you're looking to scale this business? Like, where are you seeing it heading?
Yeah, so I would love to work with cities and counties, and collaborate with them, especially as large scale events are coming to town, to educate new hosts on a massive level. That's kind of the goal for me, to do webinars or even in-person events leading up to these big events like FIFA and the Olympics, to get new hosts on board and excited about the opportunity of renting out their space on Airbnb.
Yeah, awesome. That is so exciting. So, what are some tips that you have for people that are looking to begin their Airbnb business?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing, of course, is to familiarize yourself with any short term rental regulations in your local area if you plan to do short term rentals. Um, and make sure that you're paying attention to design. It's incredibly important and can really make or break a listing. People are very visual creatures, and there's a lot of listings out there these days, so you really want to stand out. Something else I see a lot is people will put a lot of money and time and energy into furnishing their spaces, but they just take quick cell phone photos once it's ready to list. I highly suggest hiring a professional photographer. It makes a world of a difference. It's probably one of the number one things that I tell new hosts that connect with me. Like, please get a pro photographer. It makes just a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And are people that host, it's usually like their own home or they like have to buy a property? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I get a bit of both as far as my clients go. Some people have full-time investment properties that, are furnished rentals all the time. Sometimes people are renting out their own homes, like maybe they are traveling and they just rent it out when they're gone, or maybe when a big event is coming to their city, they'll go stay with their parents or with a friend and rent out their house to make some extra money. I'm particularly passionate about house hacking, which is where you are able to rent out a part of your primary residence, whether that's a guest suite or even a private room or a ADU, accessory dwelling unit, or guest house. Um,
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
That's usually the easiest way to get a permit. Of course, every city and county has totally different rules, but I have found in general it's a lot easier to home share, especially if you're in a larger city that has a lot of those short-term rental regulations. Um, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
What are some of like those regulations that can affect people?
Well, like I said, every city and county has totally different laws. I think something I do see a lot, though, especially in those bigger cities, is a short or like a primary residence law. So you have to prove that it is your that primary residence or that you live on the lot of the property in order to get a permit for a short-term rental. That's how it is in Richmond, where I live. Um, and what I see for a lot of other cities as well. But something, and this is kind of a different conversation, but something I've seen a lot of hosts in our area do, and something I've also done, is pivot to midterm rentals as well, which are 30 nights or more. There's still a big demand, especially in places like Richmond, Virginia, where a lot of people are moving here. And there's a lot of great hospitals nearby. So you have those traveling nurses coming in. The film industry is pretty big here, so lots of crews looking for temporary housing. So that's something that a lot of times people don't even think about when they're onboarding to Airbnb. But if you get stuck with the regulations and it's hard to get a short-term rental permit, that's something that you can definitely consider pivoting to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. So you mentioned that you do a lot of design work. Can you expand on this aspect of your business?
Yeah, design is incredibly important for a furnished rental business. And I've learned a ton about design over my 10 years of hosting, especially when I was working out of Airbnb's headquarters. I worked very closely with the designers there and just learned so much. And this is something that I've noticed a lot of new hosts don't pay too much attention to, or maybe they're just, they're not designers and they're not thinking with, in that way. But something I've recently started is offering what I call the zhuzhup package, where people might already have like the basic amenities and furniture, but they just need that like extra pop to help them really show better in search results. So I'll come in and add color, wallpaper, paint, more lighting, plants, artwork, local artwork, things like that to really help it pop more in those search results.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so cool and such a fun creative process. So,
Yeah,
what is like the Host with Kate business that you mentioned? Is that like your design piece, or can you expand more on that?
yeah. Host with Kate is my business that just helps new hosts in general. So I have a bunch of different services that I offer. I think the most popular one is connecting with me as their official Airbnb ambassador. And that way it's free. It's completely free for new hosts, but Airbnb does pay Hosts with Kate to help mentor them and onboard them. And I can answer any questions that they have up until their first guest departs. I also do those free webinars directly through Airbnb, and Airbnb's Entrepreneurship Academy. So I have an intro to hosting webinar, and then we recently started a 2.0 webinar. They're both always live and free and on Zoom, so very accessible for the masses. And then I also offered the design packages, the zhuzhup package. I do consultations, business strategy, meetings through Zoom. I do listing audits. That's another really popular one, where maybe, somebody has already been on Airbnb or other platforms for a while, and they just want to kind of upgrade their listing a little bit. So we'll have a chat about that, and I have a whole worksheet that I'll fill out and give them some tips and tricks there. Those are probably my most popular services. But in general, it's just helping those people that have furnished rental businesses just do the best that they can with their spaces.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, amazing. I love that you're helping people in that way to get started.
Yeah, it's really fun and very
So,
fulfilling.
yeah, totally. So, what are some goals that you have for, where your business is heading or some other avenues that you want to take with this creative passion of yours?
Yeah. So personally, um, so we have a very unique property where I live. My partner and I live on this 12-acre property. We live in the main house up on the hill, and then we have 2 guest houses currently, but we also have 7 industrial, like huge garages attached to these guest houses. So I have this dream of converting some of those garages into additional living spaces and a big event space, and essentially getting a bed and breakfast permit and creating like this whole nature retreat for wedding parties or bachelorette retreats or even, work retreats, where people can come together and celebrate different events. So that's something we're kind of working towards slowly but surely. And then on the professional side with Host with Kate, a goal would be to actually have a collaboration with a major city like LA for the Olympics and help educate hosts and get them really excited as those large scale events are coming to town.
Amazing. I love that. That's so cool and creative. And yeah, sounds like such a fun project and mission.
Yeah.
So, most of the listeners to this show are investors. How do you think investors can tie this concept into their business?
I'm sorry, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. Can you repeat that
Oh,
question one more
yeah,
time?
sure. Most of the listeners to this show are investors. Maybe they have investment properties. How can these investors add some of these concepts to their business?
Yeah. So, really think about the events that are coming to your town, whether it's FIFA or whether it's like a big festival event that is annual in your space where you have your properties, and really, manage your pricing and your calendar accordingly. And if you're able to set up a unique experience as those events are coming into town, like for those specific travelers, that always helps a lot. I always like to kind of personalize the experience as much as I can for my guests and feel that it really does lead to those 5-star reviews. Also, of course, paying attention to that design and the way that you're marketing your listing. And, the more that you are active on the back end, the more that you're tinkering with your listing, especially on Airbnb specifically, the more you're going to be rewarded where your listing is going to show up higher in search results. That's a big part of the search algorithm, is just being an active host. So make sure that you are going in there every once in a while and, playing around with your photos and your title and your descriptions, adding amenities as you get them. And that's going to help your listing stay booked over time. So, don't just set it and forget it. Make sure that you are being very active there.
Yeah, that's such a good tip. Are there any other tips for maybe if someone's listing isn't getting much traction, how they can get it into the eyes of more people?
Yeah, I mean, going back to photography, it's incredibly important. I can't stress this
Right.
enough. But the listings with high quality photos just do better in every way. Research shows this again and again and again. So I know it costs a little bit of money, but it is so worth it. Please get professional photography. Listings that have brighter photos, for example, well lit photos, I should say, just do better. People aren't going to click on those dark cell phone photos. They're going to go right past that, even if you do have a beautiful listing in real life. It's all about what the guest is seeing on their screens, so really keep that in mind.
Yeah. Is there anything like description wise that really sets people apart?
Yeah, I always like to focus in on location, special amenities, and design within within my descriptions and also within the title of my listing. Also, using verbs can be really helpful. So, like walk to the beach or sip on wine from the balcony before you head out to the football game. It really just helps people like imagine in their head what the experience is going to be like before they even book your space. So try adding some verbs. Try not to be repetitive. So, like in your title, for example, or even in your summary description, try not to say things like 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment. Like all of that information is already noted at the top of the Airbnb listing. So try to use that space for other things to call out what is special about your space. This is what I call your listing's moat, like what kind of sets it apart from other listings, other comps in your area. People want a unique stay, especially when it's a short-term rental. They want something that's different and Instagram worthy or, something that they can't get all the time. They're only going to be there for a couple days. So you really want to focus on the special parts of your listing.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense for what would catch people's attention. I love that. So, before we wrap up here, if people want to connect, reach out, learn more from you, where can people find you and connect with you?
Yeah, so my website is hostwithkate.com. And you can find all my contact information there and all my services. I'm also on social media at Host with Kate. So that's probably the easiest way to get in touch with me.
Perfect. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, your story, and your perspective. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, Michelle.
Yes, of course. And for those listeners tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure you've subscribed. We've got more conversations with operators just like Kate who are building real businesses. We'll see you all on our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.